Welcome into the Orange Crush podcast. It is a winning Tuesday. The Broncos are 9-2. They are enjoying a lovely bye week as Sean Payton has given them the entire week off. Cody Roark, Rachel Vigil hanging out with you for the next little bit. Cody, I still can't believe that the Broncos are 9-2. Like, I haven't fully wrapped my head around that yet.
You got to pinch yourself. You got to do it a few times, and it'll say it's wild. I felt like this year. I mean, I have it in our Mile High Sports magazine because we always do before the year predictions, how we think things will go. I said I think they're going to compete for the division, but honestly, I don't think anybody, including myself, I don't think I saw them at 9-2 right now. I had them finishing at maybe 10, 11 wins, which I'm like, that's great. Like, that's a good spot to be. But now they're 9-2, and you still have another stretch of schedule to go. I mean, big win for them on Sunday. I mean, I don't think you can overstate it enough. They're Chiefs fans out there. They're like, yeah, this is your Super Bowl. Who gives a shit? Like, the reality of the situation is the Broncos are here, and they're banging on the door of the AFC West, and they're saying, hey, we're coming to take over now.
I know. I had gotten so many text messages. It was like the passing of the torch. Like, it finally happened. The Broncos able to overcome it. And I had so many people that were blaming the refs, right? How funny to have the Chiefs fans talking about how the refs were blowing the game for them. I'm like, welcome to the NFL that we've been experiencing for the last 10 years.
Bunch of losers.
But I was sitting there thinking, right? Because I'm like, you can't blame the refs in this front. The Chiefs were clearly nervous. Like, the fact that Patrick Mahomes was getting the ball out so fast, the fact that they had false starts, like, there were a lot of flags that were because the Broncos defense and the pressure that they were putting on. So, yeah, they were a little more jumpy than usual because of how good the Broncos defense was.
Yeah, and look, I thought they had a good game plan trying to come into that game because when you got to go against Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper, JFM, Zach Allen, it's, hey, that this defense coming into it, I mean, they had, I think, 20-something more sacks than anybody else kind of combined at that point there. Like, the gap, the discrepancy between 1 and 2 is pretty big. And still after this week, it is. Denver's now at 49 sacks through 11 weeks of play. Coming into it, hey, this pass rush is very unique, and it's hard to read this defense. So the best way to try to neutralize that, get the ball to your hands quickly. And it's crazy that people will talk so much about Bo Nix throwing behind the line of scrimmage. Like, you know how many times Patrick Mahomes threw behind the line of scrimmage? It's part of the game. And I don't know why people minimize it. Like, if you want to get the ball out in space on the perimeter, you got to hope that you have good blockers outside. But it is a good play to have in your playbook versus just dropping back every time. I will say, I was curious for your thoughts on how it started, because the very first play of the game, Bo Nix gets sacked. The Broncos go back, but then they put together a really good drive. And I was thinking to myself, okay, you overcome a negative like that. That's great. Drops were a little bit of an issue here for this team. And once again, like in the first half, had nothing to do with Bo Nix. The offense was playing a little uninspiring in that first half. And I put a tweet out there, and people after the game were like, yeah, that's why they won. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we're live in a game here. In the first half, it's like, hey, drops have plagued the Broncos. Like, they should have maybe had a couple of touchdowns in this game in the first half, especially after Marvin's return that he had there. But the offense was significantly better than what we've seen for the last handful of weeks. And they got going in that third quarter, and it was exciting to see.
Listen, first of all, if I put out a quote-unquote negative tweet, I timestamp it. So nobody can come at me and be like, oh my gosh, Rachel, you're so stupid. Like, how could you do it? I timestamp it so they know exactly when I tweeted that out.
What's the point of live tweeting then? Like, if people are going to get mad as like you're tweeting as the game is going about, like that's what it's all about. Like, it's momentary. It's like in the moment. So it's like when you try to do this freezing cold take stuff, like, miss me with that.
Trust me, I 100% feel that. But besides the point, it felt like this week the game really slowed down for Bo Nix. Right? I was like, oh, crap. When he got sacked, I was like, this is not going to be good. Like, he's going to get in his head a lot more. He felt really comfortable this week, and I think that really showed. And his ability to just move on to the next play, you really got to hand it to him. Just as a year 2 QB in general, like, he does. Sack, he's like, okay, next thing, like, let's go. And he was able to move the offense. I thought that the offense really let Bo down this week because of how many dropped passes we had, because of the times when we saw false starts. Like, I was a little frustrated, and I was like, if they lose this game, it has nothing to do with Bo Nix's play, which is funny because all the weeks prior, I felt like it had everything to do with Bo Nix's play and the play calling from Sean Payton. But Eventually they're going to figure it out. Eventually they're going to get in hopefully a little bit more of a rhythm. I would have thought by now, as they said at 9-2, 11 weeks into the season, that it would be like that. But it's because they spread it out so much, right? Like, I just really want Sean Payton one day to just feed Cortland Sutton. And we saw it. I mean, Court looked great every single time he was able to get his hands on the ball. I was like, why aren't we feeding him more? But I just don't think that's the offense they're going to envision. They're never going to feed the hot hand. They're just going to continuously toss the ball around, which is why the Broncos are like the worst fantasy team you could possibly ask for.
Everybody asks me every week. I'm sure you get this as well. People are like, hey, who should I pick up in fantasy this week for the Broncos? I'm like, to be honest with you, I wouldn't pick up any player on the Broncos offense for fantasy just because of what you mentioned there. They have so many guys contributing right now. One week, it could be like this week, Troy Franklin, obviously, once again, large volume. Pat Bryant had a handful of catches for over 80 something yards in this game. It's like, you never know what you're going to get here. But it's a good problem to have here. And I think if the offense could be more consistent, this spread out production is going to help them out. And I think the biggest key is obviously getting the run game going. We know life after J.K. Dobbins is going to be something the Broncos should focus on here. Rachel, I think we should go back to our game that we played.
Hold on. We have to talk about J.K. real quick. I'm sorry.
We didn't get a chance to. I remember.
Will the Broncos bring him back next year?
Yes.
You think
I think so. Absolutely.
You don't think that the injury is going to bite him in the ass?
No, he should make a full recovery here. I mean, look, they love what he's brought to the table. I would be shocked if he's not back. I know he wants to be back. I know a couple people on the side of the organization that said that they would very much like to have him back. Ultimately, it's going to be up to Sean Payton. I feel like Sean would want him back.
But it's a gamble because now you've had how many years in a row that you've had an injury?
It's all part of the game, unfortunately. Here's the thing. I don't think he's going to get – I think the injury before the injury, I felt like he would have maybe got a 2 or 3 year extension. I think because of the Lisfranc, which the Lisfranc injury is always a tricky one, he may very well get maybe a 1 year extension, or maybe he might get a 2 year deal with that last year kind of being like a club option essentially here. Yeah. I don't feel like you could commit a 3 year contract just because of that. But I think he's valuable. He's very, very valuable to what the Broncos want to do going forward. And Sean has talked about his leadership. RJ's talked about it. Obviously, Jalil's talked about it. JK's been a guy who came in during the last day of like mandatory mini camp. And all of a sudden we're like, hey, okay, like how is this going to shake up the running back room for him to earn, I would say, that level of trust from his teammates that quick, I think just speaks volumes there. And he's made it known he wants to come back to Denver. So I imagine we'll see him back. I say we will.
Okay. And I think too, it'll have a lot to do with how RJ Harvey looks, right? If you don't need a guy that's going to be a 3-down back, which Sean Payton hardly ever does, then I think you do bring back JK. And like you said, a leader in the locker room. It seems like everybody really does like him. There's a vibe sometimes when you're in the locker room and there's a guy that's not exactly liked. I don't get that vibe at all about J.K. Dobbins. I think people do really like him. But I think if R.J. Harvey keeps producing and growing the way he is, we saw so much patience from him. That was my one biggest thing on Sunday. I was like, oh, if he's just going to like run, it's going to really hurt him. We saw patience. We saw him pause for a quick second, wait for the lane to open up. And I was like, this is what we need out of a rookie running back. I was so happy. But I think they'll bring him back, but I think it'll only be a 1 year deal. So I'm hopeful. And I love how everyone's like, yeah, when the Broncos make the Super Bowl, that's when he'll come back. And I'm like, okay, that's also a huge game to have to come back in after you're coming back from injury.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, and you never want to rush your recovery process. You want to do it the right way. He's already had surgery, so I know he's already going to be at the team facility going through the treatment recovery plan there with Bo Lowry and his staff. He'll be – that's the good thing, too, about JK, though. Like, even though he's done for the year on the field, he's still going to be around the building. He's still going to be in the locker room for these guys, in the meeting rooms. There's a lot of value that he can obviously pass down to these young guys. And Locke, I think, just continue to be a resource for RJ because now RJ is taking over as the main guy. Jalil McLaughlin behind him, which I'm so happy for Jalil to get back onto the field and for him get a touchdown the way that he did. Look, it's been a journey for Jalil. He's the dude works harder than anybody else. He's always the first one in the building, last one to leave. And, he just had a baby this offseason. He's just got a, new motivation on life. So I know that first touchdown, it meant a lot to Jalil. So it was nice to see that.
I was so happy when he crossed the line. And I was like, finally, something good happens for him. And you could tell he was so pumped up. Same with Marvin on the punt return. When he went
Oh,
over, he was on our side of the press box. When he went over and was yelling at the fans, I was like ready to fist pump. I was like, let's freaking go. I had some Chiefs personnel behind me, so I was like, I can't do that. But I was so happy for both of those guys.
they missed him. Gosh, they missed Marvin so much, like his return game. And I've got a chance to get close to Marvin over the last couple of years. Just a good dude. And talked to him after the game. And one of the things he was saying was just, going through the whole protocol thing. It's overwhelming because, you got people always asking like, hey, how you doing? Like, do you have a headache? And he's like, well, if I have like a normal headache, does that mean I'm still, having concussion symptoms and things like that? He said it was just very overwhelming and just being back on the field felt great for him. The return game, he had a couple of really big returns. That 70-yarder was big. I wish the offense would have been able to capitalize there on that. We know RJ Harvey tried to throw a touchdown pass to Bo Nix, but luckily Bo showcased his best DB ability and knocked the ball away from a Chiefs defender there. I hope Sean Payton goes away from some of that stuff there because you don't want to put your quarterback in a tough situation there. But
I sit there
it was a thriller.
We see those trick plays, right? It always comes against like the biggest opponents, right?
Yes.
I think back to the Buffalo game all the time. And I'm like, okay, that told me immediately from the first quarter, I was like, Sean Payton does not know if this team can win. So he's literally going to go out there and do anything possible, which you want to, but you also just want a team that you're so confident in their abilities that like, no matter what, you feel like they have an opportunity. You don't have to go all like trickster and try and, play your hand a certain way.
Yeah. How did you feel about the officiating? Because I know you and I last week in our preview, we talked about Adrian Hill. We brought up his numbers.
Yep.
And I tell you what, I was getting angry at Adrian Hill's crew. It was just so inconsistent. Look, obviously there were 20 penalties total in this game, 10 on Denver, 10 on the Chiefs. Riley Moss has had some pass interference things happen, but I felt like there were some calls in this game. I felt like the illegal contact that they called on Riley that negated Jahdae Barron's pick six. I hated that. I just felt like I was like, once again, you're seeing these plays happen that somehow if something negative happens for Kansas City, oh, wait, there's a flag on the play. I just hated that. And there were times where, look, if the refs are calling Riley for pass interference, why are they letting the Chiefs and not L'Jarius Sneed, my goodness, he used to be a Chief. Why are they letting Trent McDuffie be more grabby with Cortland Sutton? And for Troy Franklin, there were a couple times those guys clearly got interfered with or held, and they didn't throw the flag. JFM, Rachel, I had my binoculars in the press box, and I feel like I have the best view in the house with them. They're like a handy dandy binoculars that zoom very far. Like compared to these are my old ones here, like this little small one.
Yeah.
These ones are big. I felt like I was right behind the play. Like that's how zoomed up I was in. JFM is getting held like underneath here, and he's going like this. I see Adrian Hill put his hand on his flag like he's going to go grab it, and then he lets his hand off of it, and then he runs to the outside. I was like, you got to be kidding me. To me, that was frustrating. Just the inconsistency of it. And the referees huddled far too often, I think, than what they should have there. I mean, that was wild to see.
But it's all throughout the NFL. We're seeing this. And honestly, also this comment makes me laugh so much. I have never noticed that. And now I totally get it when I hear you, Cody. And I'm like, oh my God, wait, this is so iconic. Has anyone ever told you that?
I get it all the time. But, the thing is, like, I think if you listen to Adam Schefter talk,
yeah,
I talk faster. Like
you do.
I talk faster with more energy, and Adam goes more like, like he's just slower.
Yeah.
Like people are like, are you trying to sound like Chef? I'm like, no, this is my voice. Like Rachel, you know me, you're around me. Yeah. This is my voice.
No, but I've never once thought that until I saw that comment. And now I'm like, oh yeah, I see it 100%. So funny. Back to the refs though. It's going to be like baseball here in a little bit because they're in every NFL game too. I feel like we are seeing so many flags. It is slowing down the game, right? Like the MLB was doing anything in their power to try and speed up the game. We're going to have to get to that point because NFL games are already so long. The second we're seeing a flag every play, if not every other play, I'm like, oh my gosh, we cannot have this many. Because you get out of rhythm too.
Yeah.
The guys are having to wait. Like we want to see fast-paced offenses. That's what the NFL wants to see. They want to see touchdowns. They want to see movement. So that was frustrating to me. Riley's, unfortunately, I do just think they were both PIs. I was watching the first one I was there and I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. But once we saw the replay on the TV in the press box, I was like, okay, yeah, he did get a little grabby there. The second one, I was at home, so I got to see the slow-mo and I was like, yeah, that is a little bit of PI. But the one on Troy Franklin, the fact that he didn't get called, I was like, you can't call Riley's second one and not call that one on Troy Franklin.
Yeah.
Who was defending Troy on that play? I can't even.
I think it was Watson.
Yes. Which I was just like, that is unbelievable. Like, you have to call it both ways, especially for such big plays too, right? Like,
Yeah.
they talk about it all the time. Everybody holds in the NFL. It's just how you play it. Are you going to get caught? Where are you doing it? How close is the official? They all hold. It happens all the time. You just have to play smart. But for those certain plays, I'm like, you got to call it both ways because it has such a massive impact. That was a bummer. That was a really, really bummer. But at the end of the day, it felt like it didn't impact the Broncos as much as it was the Chiefs. The Chiefs just looked so undisciplined, and despite, I mean, there was 10 still in the Broncos. Like, they've now had, what's their average? Got to be 8 or 9 at this point.
Oh, it's about 10 per game.
Oh, that makes
for
me
sure.
Cry my eyes out.
But I would say it's not just the Broncos. It's not. I don't think it's just every Broncos game we see. Rachel, I'm watching Sunday Night Football. I'm watching Monday Night Football, and it's the same thing. We're seeing each team penalized 10 plus times, and it's like, all right, the NFL is getting out of hand here. Here's the thing, too. There's times where it's like, why do we even have this thing called replay assist if we're not going to use it? Like, when Will Lutz, before he kicked the field goal that tied it up 19-19, they called Cortland Sutton out of bounds. Like, he caught it, got both feet in. They said he was out of bounds. It was incomplete. Whereas, like, if you use replay assist, you're like, okay, well, actually, we're going to move it up 7 yards, even though he still has 3 more yards to get, but it's going to be a closer field goal than a longer one. It's like, why isn't replay assist being used in that regard? There should be no excuse why every NFL game, if there's a questionable call, why can't you go up to the booth and just fix it? That would be a process that not only speeds the game up, but you also get it right at the same time, because there are games that we see on a week-to-week basis around the NFL where a team has one call that screws them over, and it could be the difference between them winning that game and losing that game. Far too often we've seen officials taking the game into their own hands, and the NFL simply just doesn't have a place for that anymore. I think with this game, the names that we see, how offense and defense are being played in today's game, that to me is just, nobody spends money, hard-earned, expensive. Like, tickets to a Broncos game are expensive, even if you're sitting up in the nosebleeds. So people don't want to spend their hard-earned money to see yellow on the field every other play. It's got to get fixed.
I'm totally with you. And on the Cortland Sutton, like, toe touch, reward a player who, thinks about that, how fast the game is. Reward him by being able to go up to the officials in the booth and be like, okay, was that in? Like, it's okay to have to take a second on that type of play, because it's nearly impossible. Even if you're looking down the line, if you are slightly back, you're going to think he's out of bounds, right? Like, those type of plays I'm totally okay with, because I agree. It's just, like, reward those guys. Like, if you can move that quickly and think about, I need to make sure both of my toes are inside that white line, I think you should be able to reward them for that. So
did you have to leave at halftime again for the post game?
I did, yeah.
So they don't probably show this on the broadcast, but man, Cortland Sutton was ripping into the refs. I love that these guys are ripping into him, because look, this NFL referee gig, this is a side job for most of these dudes, for most of these officials. It's a little side hustle. They got other fancy jobs like CPAs, lawyers, principals, you name it. Adrian Hill, some like engineer or something like that, with software and things. But it's like, all right, like, they're making more money from that. So this is just a little side hustle for them. You see it in the product, and I think it just waters it down a little bit. One thing we did last week before the game, you played a little bit of a game. You had us write stuff down. I forgot what some of them were, but how did we do? I'm very, very curious.
Okay. Total sacks, we said for the Broncos defense. Cody said 4. I said 5. Was there 3?
3. Yeah, we were under.
We were under. Okay. Travis Kelce yards, because the Broncos have not been very good against tight ends. In the third quarter, he started to get a little hot. Luckily, that simmered a little bit. You said less than 50, and I said 60 to 70. How many did he have total?
90 something. So yeah, we didn't do good on that one.
Chiefs, 50% on third down. We both said under.
We got that right. They were 5 of 13.
And then special teams mishaps. You said under 2, and I said 4. They were actually, special teams had their best game.
I don't think they had any mishaps. We had, like, that was a great special teams
game. No, they
game.
had
You
one.
mentioned Which one was it? I'm trying to remember. Because
Um,
Marvin had his big return. He had 2 big returns in this game. Will
he
Lutz was money. Jeremy Crawshaw was money in this game too. Frank Crum had a blocked extra point, which really made a huge difference in how this game kind of ended. Because if it's 20-16 for Denver at that juncture, maybe it could have been 2019. Maybe Denver would have had a chance to still go kick a game and field goal, maybe win this one 22-20. But it changed the approach and how Denver had to play. When you're tied 19-19, you don't necessarily have to be as aggressive. So I think we saw that kind of play out. So Frank Crum coming up big there on the PAT block.
I'm looking. First of all, and he's such a funny guy, so I was like so stoked for him. But it's funny when you know these guys kind of on a personal level that you like root for them a little more, or you're excited for them a little more, just because you know how they're going to react after such a big play.
Crum is funny. Yeah, we can't say it, but in the locker room, the stuff that they say like around Frank Crum cracks me up.
Yep. Okay. It was the long snapper. That was it. Yeah.
What did he do?
We had a false start.
Oh, yeah. A false start on Fraboni.
Yep.
And I remember Sean Payton was not very happy. I remember he was sitting there like looking at Darren Rizzi and they were like saying something to each other and Darren was like pointing at something. I remember watching that in the press box. Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah, that was only, but that's not bad.
No, that's good. Like that. If there's two mishaps on special teams, we're in trouble a little bit there. I like that. That's good. I feel like we got to do this every week, Rachel. Anytime Denver plays, we got to do a little bit of a note game. And look, I think we even get the audience involved. They can comment and share and answer their prompts, and we'll just see who has it. Because you said, I think the thing was if someone gets all of them right, you get them a coffee. So I like it.
Well, we
that would be great.
Did not get all of them right, but who won? Okay, so you got sacks. I got Travis Kelce yards. We both said under, and then so technically you won if we are going.
I feel like you got to get all 4 in order to win.
I feel that too.
That's got to be the caveat. Or else, one of me, I love coffee. We're gonna be buying coffee every week. I buy enough coffee as is. I'm sure you do on a week-to-week basis. It's nothing new to us, but I like that. I think we do that, and I think we get the fans involved too. And I think that's a great concept. We're at the bye.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything for the bye week? I know Sean has given players and coaches. I know Sean's not taking it off. Sean's not.
Heck no.
Sean is not the type of guy I think would be like, hey, it's the bye week. All right, I'm going to go kick my feet up in Vegas or in Cabo or, escape to Florida, whatever it may be. I guarantee you Sean's in his office just watching film right now.
Yep. Typing away, going crazy. No. And I'm surprised too. I actually haven't. Usually you'll see some players who post or their significant others will post about going different places. I haven't seen anybody post anything, but maybe it's because the weather here in Colorado has been so fantastic. They're all like, I guess I don't need to go to Cabo. It's still 75 here in Denver.
Ooh, it's getting cold though.
No, it's supposed to snow apparently on Thursday.
Are you serious? Oh no, that's the worst news. Thankfully I don't have to go anywhere, but my goodness, that
I
just
know. I'm
me.
enjoying the bye week. Yesterday, this sounds really bad. I did not leave my couch. I'm
nothing
not
wrong
kidding.
with that.
Besides walking my dog, I was on the couch the entire day. I was like, this is my bye week day. I'm just going to chill here. I did some computer work. I was straight. I was having a great time. But I do like to be productive, so I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm throwing a party on Black Friday.
Okay.
Kind of like a mix between Christmas and Thanksgiving. So I'm getting ready for that, trying to, find different little things that I can do early enough for that party. But otherwise, I'm not doing anything. I'm kind of enjoying it. This is a good bye time. This is prime time bye week for me at least. So I'm happy about it. What about you?
Well, okay. I want to ask you this: have you decorated yet for Christmas?
No, I have not. But I have Thanksgiving up. That is all said and done. But honestly, on Thanksgiving, we're not doing anything with family because we're celebrating earlier. So I think I'm going to be decorating on Thanksgiving.
We already have our tree up right now.
Wow, look at you. I saw you did go Christmas shopping.
We did. And honestly, happy wife, happy life. That's what they say. I'm at the point now, we haven't put the ornaments on the tree just yet.
Okay.
But for me, I was just like, all right. I mean, I get it. We're having a Friendsgiving next week. So we're going to go see our friends, watch some football. enjoy that. We're not hosting Thanksgiving. I think if we were hosting Thanksgiving, we wouldn't have the Christmas stuff up yet. So we're in that process here. But I don't know, maybe we throw something out there too. If do you wish the Broncos were playing on Thanksgiving Day? Do you want to see them ever play on that?
No, because we have Christmas. I would rather it be Thanksgiving than Christmas, but I don't want to do both by any means, and I don't think that NFL will do that.
I'm glad I get to watch it from the comfort of my home on Christmas Day because that would.
It is. I get asked all the time from people that are like, "Are you sad you don't travel?" And for certain games, I'm like, okay, a little bit, right? Like the first away game when the season is so fresh. But otherwise, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of nice to just like sit on my couch, watch the game, have a good meal, like hang out.
Though I don't think we eat as good as we do at the press box. Though that was, if we could get like if it's an away game and we're at home, it's like at least we can get the quality. So it's like you have to have like a go-to like order for these away games. Bojo's might be a good one. I always, if I ever want pizza, I always try to get a Bojo's delivered or something. But it's bittersweet. I like at first, my first year on the beat, I traveled, and it was nice because really I would go, if Denver played on Sunday, I would go on Saturday, and then I would explore the city. My favorite thing to do was to go to different local coffee shops wherever I went. Seattle's got great coffee. There was a great taco place in Seattle. So I miss that about it. But I feel like when they're on the road, I feel like I can get so much more done when I'm at home in terms of creating the content that I need to, writing my stories, doing my shows. Whereas, after the game, it's crazy. Sometimes I'm an hour and a half after the fact of being able to get stuff out from a content standpoint, just because you're doing this, going and interviewing and trying to make sure you're getting everything, every scrum possible. It's a little crazy.
It is crazy. Like people, one of the things about working in the NFL that I tell people all the time is it's chill for like 90% of the time. And then it is absolute chaos for the other 10%, where you are literally like running around, you're freaking out a little bit of like, did I get this person? Did I get this person? Okay, who else do we need to do? You're trying to think of storylines in the back of your head. You're trying to remember things that happened during the game as well to connect back to it. It's chill 90% of the time, and then it is seriously just absolute chaos. Or you're trying to run from Peyton's, presser to the locker room. Like, it's just a lot, but it's so fun at the exact same time. I was literally this morning, and one of the girls was like, do you work in sports? And I was like, yeah, I cover the NFL. And she goes, that's the coolest job ever. And I'm like, it really is. But I always just want people to like know the behind the scenes of it really can be chaos. Like, it looks chill for a lot of it, but there are moments where you're like, I'm losing my brain.
I saw one of the craziest comments on Romy's TikTok from somebody, because Romy was doing like a, hey, here's what the press box looks like. Like this, these are the different areas of the press box. And someone commented on there, and they're like, they should expand the stadium and make more room for fans and less room for the media. It's like, no, like stadiums are made so there's equal room for people who have jobs to do. And 70-something thousand people at Empower Field, like, come on. I was like, some comments like that, I'm just like, people really don't get it in the grand scheme of things.
And people don't understand, like, it's our job. Like, I need space to do my job in the press box, just like you need a desk at your accounting job or whatever it is.
Yes, we got elbow room. I like that.
It's so nice because we've all been in places where you're squeezed in and it's really awkward. And again, you're still at work. There are pros and cons. Yes, it is such a fun job, but there are pros and cons to being at work regardless of where you work. So we need space. And I'm sorry, but the biggest perk is that they feed us, and I will never complain about that perk. Ever. Ever complain.
The scrums are great. Like when you talk about like feeling like congested and chaos, trying to like, the number one thing we worry about is my camera working? Is my DJI mic connected to my thing? Is it like, are they synced? And then
there's like a little green bar at the top of it, everybody, so you know.
It's the worst. Like sometimes like, wait, I forgot to press the record button, where it's like you got the handheld mic so you can stick it in the scrum there, and it's like,
and you're also squeezed like this for 45 minutes, and you're like, oh my gosh, my shoulder's gonna fall off, but you can't really like have time to switch it to the other arm because you're squished in with everybody. That's so funny.
It is the best workout that I think you'll ever get. And then it's just like, then there's the mental, just like when you're I don't know, I take I-25 to get home and then jump onto Santa Fe, but it's so long. I'm sitting there, it's like I'm in the car, I'm like, okay, now my brain is melting. I feel like I just need to wind down just because it's so chaotic.
On Wednesdays every single week, it's the first day we get access to the
Oh.
locker room for the week. Everybody talks on Wednesdays. Like, all the media is typically there. It's so chaotic. And I'm just trying to think, and you'll hear different tidbits. So you're like, oh, I loved this. I loved what so-and-so said. How can I connect this? But then you'll move on to the next scrum and you're like, crap, what did he say over there? Like, it's such a mental game, but it is so fun. It's a lot, and you don't have enough. Like, I would love to hold my phone up to be like, okay, record, so I can get like a transcript with my camera too. But like, I don't have enough hands to be able to do all of this. It's just chaos, but it's so fun.
It is rough. It is rough. And I would say like the hard part too is like when you're sitting there, I have ADHD.
Same.
So my thing is like when we're sitting at like a scrum and a press conference, I'm trying to listen to what is being said while trying to type out. And it's like, wait a minute, I don't want to mistype and like miss a couple of words there. And it's like, this is where it'd just be like having a live transcript would be great. It's crazy how it works. But you know what I also realized I stopped doing? It's like, if I'm here sitting here trying to tweet this, literally everybody else, like Parker Gabriel, Mike Klitz, everyone's tweeting the same exact thing. So I was like, why do we all need to be tweeting the same exact thing at this point?
I stopped doing that as well because I was just like, there's no point, right? Nobody needs their timeline to say Sean Payton said X, Y, and Z 12 times going down their timeline. I'm like, I will try and find the best storylines, the storylines that people hopefully aren't talking as much about too. Like, that's how I try and do a lot of my content, because there is so much already available with the digital platforms that I want to be able to provide a different point of view. And yeah, it's fun, but I'm like bummed because the Broncos obviously won on Sunday that we don't have a game this week. I'm going to enjoy the pie, don't get me wrong, but I am like, I just want to keep it going. Like, Broncos country is so excited. They're so happy. It's just like, keep going.
There's nothing better than a happy Broncos country because, you know, when it's bad, and look, Broncos fans have endured really bad football for the last 10 years. It's exciting that we're now on the rise again with like, hey, like if the Broncos are doing well and the fan base is happy, I mean, that makes our job so much easier because we interact with the fan base. We're boots on the ground talking to fans. And when they're not happy, we certainly feel that. And it's like that energy passes off onto us sometimes. And it's like, all right, like this is the nature of the game. But you know what? 9-2 going to the bye week, we'll take it. Reinforcements on the way potentially after the bye week with Pat Surtain, Alex Singleton, which obviously that was a promising development. We'll see. It's not written in stone just yet, but I know Tracy Wolfson of CBS said that it pretty much after the bye, Singleton is hoping to be back for that Commanders game. So we do know it is staying in prime time. So that's good. We get to see some Sunday night football.
I know. I'm so excited. I love Sunday night. I love prime time. Gives you a little bit of time to hang out on your Sunday, watch some other football, and then we will be ready to go. I cannot wait. Let's keep it rolling. Last question for you. Are the Broncos going to host a playoff game?
Yes, I think so.
I think so too, Cody, and
I think so too. And it'll be the hardest place for any team to come in and have to play because of the defense, because of the crowd. I posted a video. I wish I had it here to show people. Actually, I might be able to pull it up on my phone. On that third down before Jaquan McMillan's sack on Patrick Mahomes, I was filming the water bottle.
Massive props to that. He read it so perfectly too.
So damn well. But watch this. Like, I don't know if we'll be able to see it good, but this is a water bottle on that third down. God, let me clean the fingerprints off this damn thing real quick.
Us,
My goodness.
My goodness. What are you doing? You eating with your hands?
Most of the time. But basically, the water bottle is shaking.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Yeah, I mean, we have the level 500 right above us in the press box. And you guys, when we can feel your feet left and right when you guys are pounding up there. So it's always so
dope.
Fun,
but people kept sending me the Jurassic Park T-Rex thing, like in the water shaking. I was like, that's what it felt like. But it was like that all game. This was the loudest game, I think, from being in a press box that I've been to. It was louder than, and I went to the Seattle game, Russ coming back to Seattle on Monday Night Football for Denver. It was loud there, but this game was louder than that, which was crazy.
It meant a lot. You could tell it felt like a playoff game. Nick Bonito's reaction running onto the field told you that meant a lot to the players too. You gotta win. All of their tweets of like, what are they gonna say now? I don't know. You can't say anything. I have nothing to say besides let's go Broncos. Like that's
it. 100%. Well, the bye week is here, folks. Rachel and I think we'll be back probably next Tuesday to kind of set the table for Sunday Night Football. We're going to take Thursday off. We want all of you to enjoy your bye week and have fun. And, if you haven't already done it, start setting up your Christmas trees.
Yep. Yeah, seriously. Get ready for the holidays. It'll be here before we know it. But enjoy this Broncos bye week, everybody. Enjoy the fact that your team is 9-2 and enjoy some football on Sunday. And we will see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.